Fantasy Podcast. News, reviews, and interviews from the world of myth and legend. With your host, Oliver McNeil.
Episode 8 of the Fantasy Podcast. Hello, I'm Oliver McNeil, and welcome to the latest episode. It's been a little while, a bit of a break. I've been very busy working, but I had the opportunity to go up to Peterborough, a little sort of 2.5 hour drive here and there, to meet the wonderful and incredibly lovely man, Peter Burroughs. Now, Peter Burroughs has been in many fantasy films. Star Wars, he's in Labyrinth, obviously, tons and tons of stuff. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Harry Potter, and we have a chat with him, and he discusses about some of the mechanics of working on those amazing films, how they might have changed, maybe the future of little people in fantasy films, and how he feels about it nowadays. And as I said, lovely chap, and we kind of well, you might hear some noise in the background. Unfortunately, Peter at the moment is in a wheelchair, and his electric wheelchair does click a wee bit, so don't worry too much. And obviously, as a busy man, we do get a couple of phone calls and a few little knocks here and there. However, that's my apologies out of the way. I'm sure you will enjoy this, and I'll hear you at the end. Well, I won't hear you. You'll hear me at the end of this interview, and I'll add a few little footnotes. Hello, I'm here with Peter Burroughs, who is one of the managing directors of Willow Management.
Willow Personal Management.
Personal Management.
Yes, yeah.
Which, Peter, can you explain what that is?
Well, we look after about 200 small actors. That's actors under 5 foot and under. So, we've got them all over the place, really, worldwide as well. And
you have Willow Tall as well, don't you?
Then we have Willow Tall, yeah. You've got to be over 7 foot for that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, which is nice, because we specialise in that field. We've been running now for 22 years, I think it is now.
So how did it all start?
How did it all start? We was doing a film called Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, and me and Warwick met on the Labyrinth. First off, sorry,
Warwick Davis.
Yeah, Warwick Davis. This is my son-in-law. So we got together chatting, and it wasn't until oh dear, where can I say? Probably I can't remember the date now. Narnia. We was together on Narnia.
Was it the BBC?
The BBC Narnia, yes. And we got together there and saying about how little people should be treated, like sort of thing. And when they go for auditions, we wanted to make sure that they'd got a fair crack of the whip, like not just going in herds, like hordes of people just going down just to audition. We wanted to make sure that they were individuals, they were actors, and they were can be seen on the screen, and that's why we developed Willow. Really.
So what was happening beforehand?
Well, they were just picking anybody and sending anybody to auditions where they wanted a small person. But sometimes they'd change that, because if they couldn't find the right person, some agent. There's not a lot of agencies, but there was agencies that just sent anybody, right, whether they could read or write or whatever they could do. And unfortunately, then some of the directors just said, "Oh no, we'll have to change that soon. We won't use a small person."
Yeah.
But we wanted to make sure that we could show them, like, how a small person can work and do things. Yeah. So
for instance, you were talking about sort of a certain level of acting that you want to represent. Because I had a look at your website where you got a lot of skills on there. From comedy, driving to stunts to
yeah.
So how do you test those for people coming to you?
Well, when they come to, you mean like when they want to join?
Yeah, if someone wants to join your
yeah,
agency.
well, we give them an information sheet for them to have a look at to see whether they've got any of their skills. But if they haven't, if they willingly learn, we've got people that stunt people that will show them the ropes on different things, and if they're keen to learn and go on further, that's fine. But normally it's their acting skills, and if they've got like the enthusiasm to it, and they'll take tuition and they'll take direction, that's fine. But if some people, I'm not doing that, but well, that's pointless them even thinking about that.
Well, I suppose they've got to look at the successful actors who've made it, Peter Dinklage and Warwick, and who can act, and they've trained and they've gone through it.
No, that's right, yeah. Because years ago there was oh dear, I forgot his name. It's anyway, I'll think about it. It'll come to me in a minute. Yeah. Oh, David Rappaport.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. David Rappaport. He was one of the first. Well, I won't say
buried.
Yeah. And he was in with the Monty Python team at times, and he was a good little chap. But unfortunately, he went to America and headed for the big time, but it didn't quite work out for him there. And then his relationship broke down with this young lady, and unfortunately he committed suicide.
I remember reading about that.
That was very sad, because he was a talent. He didn't realise the talent he'd got, and if he'd have kept it, he'd been here today.
Yes.
But unfortunately, and that's what we look for now, just to make sure people, if they're uneasy with anything, we don't want to push them, but just make them feel at ease.
Yeah. And do you think there's there's a kind of production that have come through Willow Management? You've had obviously the Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had all those. Harry
that's
Potters.
current now, isn't it?
Yes.
All the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Have you got many of your actors?
I can't say for this one coming. Yes, we've got actors in it. Yeah. Yeah. But that's all I'm allowed to say.
That's fair enough. That's okay. Let's go back to safer territory then.
So, I couldn't say no more.
So, this is a fantasy podcast, so we love fantasy films. Obviously, there's a lot of fantasy films that use your agency.
Oh, yes.
Now, the first ones that you worked on before you even set up the Willow Management.
The Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal, which was
Jim Henson's film.
Wonderful Jim Henson.
Yeah, I played a Skesis in that. I was a scientist, and then I was a ritual master as well in that.
I thought the Skesis, they were huge costumes, weren't they?
Very heavy. Yes.
So I always thought it was someone bent over.
Right.
So how did you have to wear that?
Right. What it was, I was a ritual master, which was Jim Henson in one of the costumes then. Well, he was there doing the mouthpiece to the character. Doing the mouth and one or two arms or things like that. Because there used to be about 5 of us in one costume, cramped in one costume. And I would be either on the breathing, making it breathe, how it breathes in time with what it's speaking, or exasperation, eyes, blinking eyes, and eye movement. We used to have a monitor strapped to us like this, in a very cramped position, and just looking down at it, strapped to her chest, and looking down, all covered with this costume. And of course he used to do all the movements, stationary movements. I wasn't saying he didn't walk away. When we come out that costume, and they wanted like the Skesis to walk across a set. Yeah, that's where we come into our own rights then, with this heavy, really heavy costume on.
Huge.
And you couldn't. Very difficult to see.
Yeah.
As I said, we had monitors strapped to us, but you had a little monitor, a 4-inch monitor, and going across, and then saying and you've got your earpiece where they're saying like left a bit, left, because you get disorientated with it all. When you're in that confined... it takes a little bit of getting used to.
And there's other people you bump into as well. So
that was inevitable. Things like that used to happen. Yeah. But we had the fun of it. It was fun. It was hard work. Hot. But when you see the rushes and you see what you've done, now I can improve on that one. And Jim was like really a perfectionist.
Yes.
He was a chap that wanted it dead right, and he'd look at it and we'd have a look at it. And I know I can do that. I know where I went wrong now.
Yeah.
And fine. And we'd go back to it and do it again. But it was the fun of... I don't know. We was all... camaraderie was nice,
Yes.
We was all a family.
How did you get that right? Actually, funny enough, when I was at college, I was telling you before we started recording, one of my tutors was the guy who distressed all the costumes.
Oh, right.
For the Skesis.
Yes, yeah.
And he used to tell me that he used to go into where they had all the costumes being made and tell all the seamstresses, right, okay, I now have to take this outfit into the car park and just throw it about and pour petrol on it and cheese strainer it. Beautiful work. But it just visually, it was obviously it's Brian Froud's beautiful illustrations.
Yes, Brian. Yeah.
And you know Brian?
Oh yes, yeah. No, we worked quite a bit together.
Fantastic. Because the other one he worked on was Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, yeah. His son was in that as well.
Toby.
Toby was there.
Who is now directing? He's got his own short film.
I know. I don't realise how time goes.
And in Lab, you were in that as well.
I was in that as well. Yeah, we had 20 odd weeks.
Yeah.
On each film. Yeah, which you don't get now, of course. No. But I mean, it was it was a learning curve, and it was nice. It was,
So what were you playing in Labyrinth?
In Labyrinth, I was a goblin, different goblins, and then I was this chap that had big arms, really massive arms, heavy. The costume was heavy. Then I played the wise man, where you see I go and sit down and sit and ponder, and I've got the bird on me head.
Yes, I can visualise it.
Oh, that was heavy.
Fantastic, with a big beard, a pointy beard.
That
went 3
that's
ways.
It. Yeah. And Frank Oz, it was then doing the mouthpiece to that. Yeah. But that was all electronic.
Wow.
Yeah.
It went wrong, wouldn't it? With who's the main troll, which I think was played by a lady, wasn't it? Yeah. I can't. Cool, dear. It will come to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know all the servos used to go funny all the time. And get them
well, of course.
Spasming. And
everything was new in them days. The technologies we were learning about putting servos in different things. Yeah. And of course, if they got crossed, like with anybody else, everything went a little bit.
Taxi phone goes past.
Different things like that. You got a bit of interference today, blink or anything. But generally they got round all that. And
then there's a lot of fight sequences with the goblins, weren't there?
Oh yes, we're in one scene where they call for these rocks to come down. And they were polystyrene rocks, of course, but what they've done, they've tied these rocks to us, which then reversed it, so it looked as though we was running away from these rocks coming. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And these rocks being pulled behind us. Lots of times, we used to get tangled up with them. You know, we go, oh, stop, and cut, and started again. But one scene what I was in, where two of us, me and Danny, we had to. They'd got our bodies on these air poles,
Yes.
like scaffolding poles. And they said, right, when some of these rocks are coming down, they're going to come to these 5 people that was around, and you'd shoot up in the air. You know, it'd be like 10-pin bowling. So, right, yeah. But they wanted 2, like, mobile goblins at the either end.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll be one, and Danny was the other. So we're there, and he said it's only a run through first, but when they let these scaffolding poles with the air, this compressed air, they let the scaffolding poles go, they went, a normal sound, frightening, but you get a 4-foot scaffolding pole up in the air, then coming down, you're not too sure where it's coming.
That sounds incredibly dangerous.
It was. Yeah, when they said, like, move, you didn't move. You know,
do you think it was a lot more dangerous in those days?
Well, yeah, for a while. Yeah, they were there. They were good, but that was a pretty. We had extra money for that.
Did you get hurt, Peter?
No, I didn't. We managed to lay out the way and lay still until, where these poles come down and then get out of the way quick with the rest of it. But, and we done it all in one take.
Wow.
Because the thing was, they were good like that. You know, they're going right. You know, I mean, we were scared stiff when we first heard them go. We go, blimey. You know, and you want us to stand against these things. And, well, okay. And when we come to the shot, because we negotiated a fee to do this, and we thought, we'll be all right if we have 4 or 5 goes at this. You know. But no, one shot, and that was it. They'd got it in one take. God. So that was good, really good. But on the Labyrinth as well, we used to be puppeteering or with the puppets from a high up in the lighting gallery. We used to lay down and put the birds through and all sorts of things. That was more scary, laying on the sliding gallery. 40 foot up in the air, dangling these.
And where was this film? Was this Pinewood?
Elstree.
Okay.
Elstree at the time, yeah. It was it was good. It was good, it was fun. And as I said, we was a family, so we was all together. It was nice. And Jim Henson and his company well looked after us. We was very, very lucky, really. It was nice. He appreciated what we was doing, and he showed it all the time. He never said, "Oh, right, hang on a minute, get on with it." He was just used to come up to you and everything all right, lads. Yeah. Do you, are you okay? Are you all right with this? And you go, yeah, we'll do this for you. Because he was such a nice chap, you know.
Here is a lovely, lovely man to work for, I think with sort of UK productions that we've had an awful lot of fantasy films in. Were you in Star Wars as well?
I was in Star Wars. Yeah, we was Ewoks.
Well, that was filmed.
That was
America.
That was at Elstree. Oh. It did go. It went over to America, where some of the lads did go. I didn't go with it, but Warwick went. He was. He was the chief. He
was the main one, wasn't he?
Ewok.
Willow himself? No, not Willow, sorry. Beg your pardon.
No. It was, it was.
We're going to have so many listeners screaming at us.
Yeah, I know they will.
Wicket.
That's it. That's it.
I got there in the end.
I'm sorry, I forgot that. But yeah, he'll grill me for that. But Wicket. Yeah, it went well.
So what was filmed over here? Which scenes?
Around the campfire.
Yeah.
High shots, different shots, where we're swinging on ropes and stuff like that.
Okay.
That was all done extra here.
Yeah.
Then it, I don't know, that's managed to superimpose it or whatever.
Do they use a lot of chroma key in the UK? Or blue screen? Because I know they use a lot of that in the next three.
Yeah. Little bits and added to it. But because they built this forest in the studios, you see, so it all matched up to where it was in Redwoods over there. So whatever how they cut it was brilliant. And of course, it made so much money they could afford to do. Not many films could afford to do what they'd done and how they done it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of us on settled times.
And the prequels as well. Do you get involved with those?
Yes, yeah. I always remember though being on these was on the ropes. Had to be on up the trees.
Yeah.
Right. And jumping off and things, and because I was a stunt Ewok as well, like that, and we're going around these trees, and we're swinging from tree to tree. Now there's about like 35 feet up, I think, in the studios, as far as you can get, and then I had to swing across, and they've got all this action going on. And the director's going, right, you go 1, 2, you go on 3, you know, somebody else goes on 2 and 1, all sorted out. Right, so I thought, and the count was coming and they're going 1, 2, 3, that's me, right, I'm swinging across. And all of a sudden, all these other Ewoks just come round the corner. It's too late for me to stop. I just knocked into them like 10 pins, knocked them all flying. Of course they go, cut, hang on, down, stopped, I'm dangling on the rope a minute. They go, right, I think, Pete, you ought to go on 5, 4 or 5, we're having a check now. I said, I went on when they told me. Yeah, we know that, but it didn't quite work, we'll change things about. But a bit of fun, you know, it all took time, but when it comes out, you don't notice the problems we had.
All the screaming, all the
dubbing
is a great thing. Isn't it?
We couldn't see out the costumes sometimes because the perspiration come up through the masks, covered the eyes, you know, and it was just.
Well, they messed it up, and
missed it completely.
Yeah,
couldn't see anything, and it wasn't just that you could take them off and wipe it. Yeah. It was a routine to get the head off, you know.
Wow.
Took a while to undo it all and get it ready and wiped. And then they decided to get this this stuff that they could put on the eyes to stop them from misting up, or like a soap material. That's fine. And we could see where we were going. But it was quite hilarious because sometimes you'd put these heads on and it'd fog up straight away. You couldn't see, you know. You go, oh, sorry, I can't see a thing. I don't know where I'm going.
They do look incredibly hot. So obviously, they were incredibly hot.
Terribly hot.
And can we recognise you from the film? Do we know which Ewok you are?
No, not really. No, if you see a swinging Ewok, you can do that one. The others, no, not really, because we was all over the place and intermingled at different times, you know, where they've done the scene and they'd go like, no, we'll put another one in there, or different things like that. Whatever worked, we didn't see all of it, what was on the rushes, but they'd just say like, we'll change it around a bit. And we went to see the film, of course, but is
it not frustrating that you play so many characters and all
Yeah,
these
it's
stuff,
just-
no one knows your face.
No, it's a survival of the fittest in them costumes because so many people did faint, you know, with the heat and all that. Just exhausted, just totally exhausted. You know, you used to pull the side of your when they took the heads off, you could pull this costume at the side, and all this steam. Where it was like just a
I've
steam.
heard some extraordinary stories about when they did Legend.
Oh yes,
Did you?
I wasn't in Legend.
No, there's, I don't think there were many, were there? But I think there's not many around actually, are there? Who were in Legend?
There's no. Some of them have passed on,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But there's one or two still about. Yeah.
But the outfits for those, Tim Curry with the darkness he was playing.
Oh yeah.
Again, at college, we had the makeup chap who put that on, and it took him ages to get that off each night. And they used to sit in the bath and open up the top and pour this stuff called, I think it was called mineral oil, and then squidge it round, it release it all. But just sit a bottle of champagne in there, we're quite happy.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, does it worry you now with all the CG that's coming up? And
Unfortunately, it does a little, yes, because it's took that. I like to think when I go and see a film, I like to look at the character. You know, I like the Ewoks. They were, you know, you knew people was in them in a way, but you could see the different characteristics of them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, it added more to it than all this CGI. I don't.
Yeah, I think you're
Personally,
right.
I
You
don't.
lose a bit of the soul, don't you?
I think so.
If you looked at if you watch Labyrinth or Dark, well, not necessarily Dark Crystal, but you can definitely tell there's someone inside it.
Yeah.
The way they kind of move or twitch, and
I can the
performing.
Labyrinth. I watched the Labyrinth, and I think, hello, that was fun to do that.
No, there's definite performance. And if you look at Lord of the Rings, all the the generators he did, it's definitely hollow sort of computer characters. Out
Yeah, it's not the same. It's like on the Dark Crystal. We one scene we had these wind-up beetles, and we had to let them go, like, you know. But we was hiding. Right? Sometimes they'd trigger off and shoot right up in the air, you know. Before it looks as though you were throwing them, but you wasn't. You wound them up too hard.
Weren't they just toys?
They were just toys.
Yeah, I remember seeing a making of that, and I think they were wind-up spiders that they
that's
decorated.
all. Only from the toy shop.
Yeah.
And the same as they sent for the birds that were flying around. They come from Paris. They used to sell them at the Eiffel Tower, wind up, and they'd fly. They'd literally fly. They'd go across.
So, some of the best effects, I think, again on Labyrinth, Legend, they had a little flying fairy light, and now they're doing but all they had was a light on a bit of string, and that was it, and it just looked so effective. Clippers way of doing it.
What I liked with that, there was no special, like, as you say, CGI with them films. It was always done
really inventive, wasn't it?
How we can make this look good and real. You know.
So Peter, you've been. I won't ask your age. That's very rude for me.
Oh, yeah.
But you've been in the for 50 years, have you?
50 years.
50 years.
50.
Just
50, yeah.
So you're a wee boy, obviously, when you started.
52 years.
How do you get into performing?
Right, how I started was I left school and I was working for my father in a general stores, and I used to go skating every night, or quite a bit of roller skating. When I'd got the opportunity to go ice skating, but took up roller skating, and then I thought, I see the ice show on the television. I thought, I'd like to do that. I'd like to be one of them. And I wrote away to Tom Arnold's ice show, or to this agent, and Kay Lester. And she come back to me later on, and she said, "Oh, I've got a job for you. I'd like you to come and see the director and all that." And it was with Charlie Drake in the Man in the Moon show at the London Palladium, believe it or not. Oh, Christ. Palladium straight away. No, I'm not that good, but no, there was a troupe of us, 6 of us, and we was at the Palladium and we was there for 21 weeks there, so it was a nice run from November right through to April, and time, and the fun of it, to me, because we was only doing like 12 minutes a day, I think, in each show. So if we'd done 2 shows, that was 24 minutes work.
This is better than working for my dad.
Yeah, but it was fun because I learned a lot, watched a lot, and went to different places, and broadened myself, like, with it, watching things, meeting people. Met a lot of characters years ago where in the Lion Corner houses, there used to be the Morton Fraser's harmonica group in there. Nat Jackley and the Rubberneck, he used to do a rubber dance. They all used to be in the West End. Just casual, we used to sit in the coffee bars or anything like that. These Lion Corner houses, rather, and
So do you think at what stage did you get an agent and think, okay, right, I'm going to start?
I had this agent called Kay Lester, and she was a little old lady, and she used to look after us and pamper us, just to take us out different places, show us the ropes, and then like for pantomimes. And then she said, now when you do the pantomimes, like a Snow White pantomime, I'll show you how to I'll tell you the characters. Yes. And you're going to be good boys, all of us. Yes. Because we were tearaways at times, but she used to bring us down to earth, see? Yeah. And she looked after us a treat, and then she introduced me to films, which my first film encounter was the BBC Alice in Wonderland.
Who was in that? Can you remember?
Directed by Dr. Jonathan Miller.
Wow.
Right. Okay. That was the first encounter I'd had with him, met him.
Is that the one with Peter Sellers in it?
Peter Sellers, Malcolm Muggeridge. There used to be a lot of stars in that.
I'm just trying to remember. All I can remember is Peter Sellers, but I think there was. It must have been late '60s. That was it.
Oh yes, yes.
And it was quite an unusual. Well, Jonathan Miller, which is going to be very theatre, isn't it?
Darkish in a way, it was not everybody's cup of tea, I think, but it was an expensive production, and it was really nice. That was made at Ealing Studios, majority of that house. Then it went to the Duke of Northumberland's estate. And then parts of Guildford, it was...
what did you play in that one?
I was a prince.
A prince?
An Edwardian prince.
Wow.
Yeah. It was learning. It was a learning game, it was fun. And to get dressed up, mind you, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes to get up. Go to the set. It was a bit early. And of course, they didn't care about time, There was no overtime or nothing really as such. But you didn't mind because you were learning all the learning things,
And did you start training in drama as well, or did?
No, I didn't beforehand. No, not until I was kind of self-taught and by other actors.
Yes.
Because I went and then I went in King Arthur and the Talisman, and I was on the Goodies, and I was learning all the time different things, and then I done
What was the talisman? Because that's
talisman. That was in that was in like King Richard's days. I was a baddie.
Yeah.
I was an evil Nectabanus. I was with the Queen, and I was a henchman.
This is BBC production, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like one of the sort of the dark
and I used
dramas that they don't show.
And
nowadays.
I used to protect her, you see.
Yeah.
And I used to get beaten a lot.
Yeah.
I used to. I was teasing a dog once with a snake, and with a real snake, African horned python. It was on this stick, but it was looped, so it couldn't. It was hissing, and I was teasing this dog as long as I didn't touch the dog.
Yeah.
It could have killed it, perhaps, but
Different days, really, aren't they?
yeah. I had to hand it to Sir Kenneth. I always remember it. This Patrick Rycart it was, and I had to hand it to him on this stick because he grabbed it off me, but he said the snake had touched him and he dropped it on the floor. Just dropped it.
Oh my God.
Didn't want to touch it. And of course the chap that owned the snake, looking after the snake, said, "My snake, you can't do that." She says, "I'm not having that touch."
Oh, wow.
Which I can understand. He didn't like snakes, but we had to go for another take and try it without that.
So you were probably acting in that, by the sound of it. Did you have a lot of lines in there?
Oh yes,
yeah.
It was quite a bit there, really. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was a bit out my depth. I always thought. First off, it took a lot of. I used to come home and worry myself to death when I'm doing it right. And we had, a speech therapist like with it, because instead of like Theodoric, it was Theodoric. And it's how I read it once. I was going like Theodoric, and they go, "No, it's Theodoric." Oh Christ, I've got to remember to say this. Right, but it was okay. It went well.
Fantastic.
There was some nice scenes in it, very nice scenes, and and then I went on from there. So it was all a bit of fun.
And then you've mentioned stunt work. So did that come about? Were you just volunteering for?
Well, after being in like Star Wars and doing that, and talking to the stunt arrangers and all that. See, and I was pretty agile then, mind you. I'm not now, but then in the younger days. And of course, a stunt arranger had always organised things for you. I was in fight scenes in pubs, and where they'd come in and knock me out the way. That was a stunt. Anything when you fell over or they moved you quickly. There was a fight broke out and they fell over.
Put your hand up, I'll do that job.
Well, no, I didn't say that, but they'd go like, we're going to sort it out and we're going to get a stunt arranger to sort. All right, okay, yeah. I never. How can I say? I never said yes. I know how to do that. No, it was best to let them do it. There were some great people. Peter Diamond. He was a good stunt arranger for me. He looked after me well. Showed me the ropes on several things.
Yes.
And Peter MacDonald. It's quite a few. Yeah, but. That was in the past now, but I mean, they looked after you. They wouldn't let you do something that was going to be, that you hurt yourself, really. Yeah. It'd only be a...
And now you run this agency with Warwick,
Willow
Management. And what ethos are you trying to sort of run it by for your performers?
Well, what we're doing now, because we've got some lovely actresses and actors, and they've come on far better than whatever I would do now.
Yeah.
You know, we had a production out to see how they run, with just little people. All the sets are small.
Yeah, that toured everywhere, didn't it? I
Yes.
almost saw it down in Eastbourne. I saw it down there. And,
That's it. Did you ever go and see it?
I wanted to, unfortunately.
It was so good. And they'll do another one yet. Yeah, because Warwick wanted to prove that little people can act.
Yeah.
You know, nobody had given not to do their own play like on the stage, and it was the scenery was made smaller, everything, but you never took no notice of it. You never took any notice of it.
Yeah.
They all looked just ordinary actors. Yeah, and you lost yourself. You didn't even think about them being small.
Yeah.
It was the scripting was so good.
Fantastic.
And it was fun. It was Vickers and
Good old English farce.
Oh yeah. It was a good farce. Yeah.
And obviously you've got so many things with social media now, YouTube and iTunes. You can do your own productions. And didn't you have something that you started with, which was fantasy based? That Warwick started recently with some. I remember because you actually got some of the costumes from this lady in Tenterton.
Warwick's done his own little bits and pieces for
his own website,
internet, and all that. Yeah. God, yes, I was dealing with some of that.
There's nothing really stopping anyone from sort of doing their own productions.
Well, no, this is what we wanted to show, and do, and that's what Warwick's going ahead with himself. You know, he'll bring his own productions out again and redo it all for talented, because there is some talent out there that's not being used, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
But because they're striving, they've gone to a lot of trouble, and we've got some wonderful actresses, just waiting for a good part. Yeah. But they are in different productions. I can't say at the moment, but they are in different productions. There's little Fran Mills. She's going to Italy to play a part in a film out there, so she's all busy. And we've got other people as well, all terrific actresses.
Yes. I suppose it's the same with a lot of you get necessarily typecast, but there's certain roles that always go to the same people. Like you always get Judi Dench or. There's definitely certain actors, and I think with certain sort of high actors, they all go, if it's American, see if Peter Dinklage, if it's English, see if Warwick Davis. So giving everyone else a chance is very hard, isn't it?
I know Warwick's trying to bring him in more to his productions, what he's doing. I mean, Peter Dinklage is wonderful what he's doing. On
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones now. He's a good little actor.
Yeah.
And I see him in a film once to do with a chap in a coffin. Which
Death at the Funeral, wasn't it? Yes, he was in that twice.
Yeah.
The UK and the America.
And I thought that was terrific. I liked it, and he got it. Yeah, which there again is come on so well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's.
Do you think that there's pressure for anyone who is your height to get into? They say you should be doing panto. Or you should do.
Well, a lot of people do want to come into it, but a lot of them can't take the pressure of learning or don't want to learn. They don't want to make an embarrassment to themselves. Yeah, I think you've got to let yourself go. When you come to a part, you've got to learn it and go for it.
Yes,
and and if you can take direction, some people look at it something and say, "No, that's how I want to play it," but it doesn't always come. You got to have a chat about it and say like what you'd like and how you look at it.
Yeah.
And the same as...
So I suppose the attributes in you are the same as any other actor. You've got to be determined and resilient and just try it out, really.
That is the thing, being resilient. Take criticism, be able to take that on board, and then shake it off later when it's done. Not keep it. Don't worry about it. Go on to the next thing. But I know a lot of people do worry about when they've done. Well, I have done when I've done a scene and thought, well, I don't know whether that was good enough. And can I do it again? And go, no, that's fine. That was all fine. Oh, I don't know. Well, if you say so, but you've got to then say, oh, well, that's what they want.
I suppose ultimately it's that the director, and the editor to make it look good in the...
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is, isn't it? Looking at they see it in their light, what they want, and people... And it's very frustrating for a lot of them that wants to be an actor, and they don't get that chance or step up. But if they do, sometimes they're that nervous that they lose it.
Yeah.
You think, well, what did you do wrong? I got my, I thought you'd got it. Yeah. I would have give you this part. And I go, no, I all fell apart. And it's a shame because they don't get enough auditions to practice with it. But we're hoping to put that right now and chat to them ourselves. And
let's say I'm sitting at home listening to this, and I want to get into acting.
Yes.
And how tall do you have to be here to?
We deal with people under 5 foot.
Under 5 foot. Okay.
Yeah, 5 foot and under. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to join your agency. What do I do? What could I expect?
Right,
how
well,
do I do it?
Contact us at willowmanagement.co.uk. Right, contact us and we'll send you the forms for you to, for them to join. And if there's anything that they want to talk to us about, there's no problem at all. We'd only look forward to having them on board or helping. Warwick's a very good director with him, and he can help them a lot. I will hand it down to him. He's good. He's puts them all at ease and explains it nicely to them, and they've got nothing to fear. Yeah, no, they can go.
And do you take any? Is it just the UK or is it international?
No, international.
International.
Yeah. So we're doing all right.
They just send you a headshot, do they? Or do they send you a headshot, or a show reel? Or
no, if they can do a head and shoulders in the full length, that's fine. Because sometimes, people haven't done anything and they're not too sure whether to do a show reel or not.
Yeah.
But get the confidence in them. Let us have a look at them first, and put down what they're interested in and what hobbies or anything like that. But then we can chat to them and see what we can do for it,
Fantastic.
No, we would do, and put the minds at ease, their mind. The same with the tall chap. I had one come up the other day, and he was he sent me an email to say how thoroughly he enjoyed it with us. The day, and he's looking forward to working with us again.
Brilliant.
Which was nice, it's put his confidence up.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think somebody at 7 foot would want confidence, but they do. They like to, have a terrific time that he did, and he felt a new person.
It's feeling you've got to be comfortable in your own skin, haven't you?
Yes,
once you've got that confidence.
Being used to everything, I mean, you haven't got to be frightened of life.
Yeah.
It's there. Life's there. Go out, grasp it, what you want, and have a look at it.
Fantastic.
Don't turn away from it. Whatever situations, just absorb it and then look at it and go, oh well, I didn't like that bit, but this is all right. I think it's I've never had any trouble with life. No,
you seem a really lovely man, though. So there's no one to be warned you.
It's all a bit of fun, and we're only this way for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I want to make the most of it. You know, I've got 2 daughters. They're married, and one's married rather to Warwick. But yeah, we look at life totally different. Yeah, always have done.
Fantastic.
Always looked on the bright side of it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time.
No,
Peter.
it's a pleasure. Oliver.
Yes, of course, it was Hoggle, the troll that we couldn't remember. How can we forget that? One of my favourite films. Anyway, when you're on the spot, sometimes you just do. So I left Peter, and I came home back down to Bodiam, about 2.5 hour drive from Peterborough, and such a lovely chap, very, very, very down to earth, and love to see them again, and hopefully will do. Now, on other matters, I am holding a fairy tale day on the 19th of July, and within that we actually can have the Legend Quest as well. So if you've got children and you would be interested in taking them adventuring, go and have a look at my website, on my Facebook page, which is actually Legend Photography. You better have a look on that page there, and you will see tickets information for the Fairy Tale Day 2015. It's done on an amazing place called the Mad Hatter's Fancy Dress, and there's a beautiful grounds, which it must be about 100 acres at least, and we take it over, and they have a costume company, over 3,000 costumes you can borrow. So hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm not quite sure where the next one will be. It is an ongoing project, so as soon as I meet someone who I feel that you would benefit from listening to, I shall get my H1 Zoom recorder and do you a new episode. Thank you guys, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. We want to hear from you. Find and follow us on Twitter @TheFantasyPod.